Hello and welcome back to Disco Elysium. It's me, David, and I'm ready to confront our friends now with the help of the Union leader Everard. I have some ideas of what may be happening. I want to save that for later, I think. But today is progressing a lot faster than the previous one. The graphical errors up here are kind of annoying. Not sure what causes that. There must be a way to open those. Probably not here though. I wonder what happens if I press the off button. That's fine. So, I've got a missing person to look into tomorrow. I have some other ideas as well of things that need doing. I think running is harmless. I think it was just commented on because I did it a lot. So that's fine. I need to make some more money for tomorrow night. Okay. Allons-y. So, we'll, Measurehead seems to have some issues with someone. I want to investigate that a little further. And, see if we can get anything out of that.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Still want to investigate the Hardy Boys. I've obviously heard this before. Sexually perverted female vagrant. And a narcotics peddler. They're either two separate people or one person. Anyway. I think that is a good result. I've cleared up the alcohol in the soup, which should make people a bit more realistic.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
You have nothing new to say. But I have a theory. Now, I don't know who's to blame for hiring them, but I feel that this gentleman here may be a mercenary, the same as our dead friend.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Hey, tough guy, I had more questions. He looks annoyed. Things are busy enough, you're going to waste less of my time? We'll see. The Hockey Man oozes stark skepticism. What exactly is your goal here? We were promised work. He points to the gates. We'd be in there working if the boss hadn't shut the gates. And you are unable to breach the entrance? Main gate's locked. It would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. That seems like a very interesting thing for a random worker to say who's got no military experience. Kid tried to get in through the secretary's office. He points up the stairs. Door's locked. The guard's blocking the way to the access panel. I don't mean the scrawny mesk punk. Neither. He points to the dock worker idling on the staircase. I mean head measurer. Whatever he is. Why don't you just talk to them? Like civilized folk, you mean? The man rubs his chin. These native fucks don't understand civilized. Okay, buddy. Racist number 3. Great. It would be better for the neighbours if you went home, at least for now, if you can't get in anyway. No, they will give up eventually or get drunk, leave the button unguarded, then we charge. The man rubs his jaw. A perfect lightly bearded square wedge. Okay. Now I want to check around here for today, because I haven't actually been in this area yet. Things do change between the days, I'm sure. But in reality, I have a sneaking suspicion that someone is being paid to incite, and there is a motivation. Oh no, I'm not quite clear on what their motivation would be. Or he would be the instigator. Oh, I'm going to interrupt you.
Wait,
Left turn stops you before you can snap.
she's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone.
If you say so. Well, I really hope I didn't just screw my investigation, and hope that's not the woman in question that needs investigating. Okay. Okay, dokie. Let's see if this gentleman's got anything to say now.
Stuck in the rain in a traffic jam, man. What's on your mind?
Okay, nothing it seems. Now I need to talk to the big guys. And I also need to have a rummage. I don't need any of that. Do you want to look around here? Okay, fine. And the next step in all of this is to have a scope for what's going on down this way. This obviously isn't cleared yet. Good morning to you officers. Do you know what's further down the coast? Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation though. There seems to be something wrong with it. Yeah, not really much else, just bombed out ruins. Fine, so you're not someone I need to talk to. I guess they're across the river. Down the coast, yeah, I can't do this yet. I would need to have access down there, but that will get cleared tomorrow. These chaps, I don't think I have anything additional to say. What is, like... Why? I have no reason to do anything. There's this here. Yeah, I mean, this woman isn't being forthcoming. I've got no dialogue options with her. Right now, anyway. So, I mean, I'll run down there and see. See if that woman's got anything to say as well. Come on.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
All around you, rain keeps falling down on the wooden board she's standing on and on the water around you. Neither do I. Pat your similarly wet cloak. Very rugged, she nods in approval. Good choice. Now I suspect you had questions, nothing like talking to pass a rainy day, am I right? Tell me about the wild pines. What do you do? What we do, I'm afraid, I don't speak for. Wild pines as a whole, it's a giant undertaking. There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent. So what do they do? The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. She points to the small dots on the horizon. See those airships there blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. Then to the east towards the harbour, and that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil, gas and exploration, offshore platforms. The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain, himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo tribes remain. Who are the other Indo tribes? Saint Baptiste, Lum, and an unknown entity known as the Brightest Star. Got it. Tell me something else. I can't ask you about... hey, about my missing badge again. How do I negotiate my... That's a red check. Suggestion 2. So we're taking care of formal protocol. Then I'll find it somehow. Let's talk about something else until I do, of course. Thank you. So my suggestion is causing me problems now. Do I have anything that will up my suggestion? Yes, I do. It seems she is a fan of that. The people are a fan of that, even. Anything else that does my suggestion? Do I have that? Okay. That gives me a +1. I mean, to be honest, it's a useful skill. I'm halfway there. Why not?
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
A missing badge. That's not bad. I can take a chance on that. She's a negotiator. Just float a favour at her. Insinuate. Surely there's some other way to demonstrate our law enforcement credentials. I will be frank with you. She puts down her thermal cup. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible. You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain. Like what? Reports from inside Terminal B see this as a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason they're profiting from this trade. The company has tried looking into the matter before to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or she picks up the cup. She picks the cup back up. You can recover your badge. If I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause. Detective, the lieutenant closes a word in private before we continue. Excuse me.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
The lieutenant's voice is hushed. How did you hope it would go? Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance and, you know, not volunteer us to be a henchman. Really, so we're henchmen now. This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands. Maybe this is all her plan. She might have heard about you. The company must have more ears on the ground. She could have known about my condition. What do you propose? That we don't investigate the drug trafficking? Yes, I think we should investigate the drug trafficking. No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we're siding with the Union, or that we're on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is we ask her, then we investigate briefly. He adjusts his glasses, but do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information on the lynching. Let's get back to her then. I agree with that. That seems reasonable. Do I want to change my coat back? Maybe I do.
You're back. Good.
Okay, tell me about the
What can I
alleged
help you with?
drug trafficking. It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samaran Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years. Ingredients for what, ma'am? Meth. Oh, good lord. And dextroamphetamine, GBL and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from this stuff. Let me get this straight. The materials come from Samara to Ravishal through the terminal. Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here. Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade man. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product, sells drugs, I mean? We're in logistics, it's our business to know and know. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it, they transport the ingredients for a cut. And you want us to investigate. Yes. But you won't get anything out of Everett and the Dock Workers Union. Still, she raises a bony finger, every chain has its weak link. The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout. Lorries. Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp, but in transit they are vulnerable. How convenient that they're stranded like beach whales at the roundabout. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment. She gives you a knowing look. Her irises are light green, like the river Esperance in bright daylight upstream where it's clearer. Huh. I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share the company's secrets with you. Uncovering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them. It's no coincidence that lorries are stranded there like that, is it? No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries, however. She pauses, looking to the sea. This is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the trade committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge and the operation will continue. She looks north. Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west, the vulnerable, the weary. Well, at least this solves one mystery. What is that, Lieutenant? Why I had to call East Motor Tract and beg them to open the drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in on my motor carriage. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kitsuragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand. Do we have suspicions that one of the drivers was present at the lynching? I don't think so. Why didn't you come to the RCM earlier? We did on more than one occasion. Apparently there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction the area falls under. We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence. Well, she smiles and points towards the roundabout. Here's your chance, officers. What proof do you have that the Union is involved? How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight. There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it. With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves. So you think the strike is being funded with source ingredients for drugs? Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who'll open up to you. That's irrelevant. Okay, I've made up my mind about the smuggling investigations. Yes? You will take this case, probe the drivers, see what it yields. Excellent. She takes a long sip of tea. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. And keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance. She takes another long sip from a seemingly bottomless thermal cup. Well, that was meaningful and useful.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
You won't talk about the murder, but maybe you can tell us something about the murderer victim's missing armor. What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells? Come on, Cindy, just help me out here. Alright, said Piggy. Sad Piggy. I'll give you just this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell. If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. She waves her hand in general westward direction. Have a good time. Got it. Piggy, I have no idea why I just told you that. She looks at you a little sad suddenly. You look like a shaggy dog left in the rain for too long. I have a weakness for animals. Well, I guess I need that lock to close so I can cross it. Well, that was very, very meaningful. I'm getting lucky today. What joys of joys it is. Okay, so what I do want to do... I should really look into this bookshop more because there's some weird stuff going on here. Anything new to say?
Hello again, sir.
You see Annette sipping on a hot juice. She looks at you with shy amusement. Who is that? Points to the woman browsing the books. Oh, that's Auntie Billy. She's nice if a bit distressed. Why is she distressed? I think she has a bad husband, not very nice or helpful. Okay. Bye, see you around, Annette. That was interesting. Just some insight, I guess. There's two people I want to talk to in here, and then I will make some progress on the lorry drivers and see what I can get away with there. You, madame, are going to be told facts.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
Are you Lizzie, Elizabeth, Miss Beaufort? I suggest not wasting time on trivial pleasantries and focusing on why you are actually here. Titus Hardy. She points to the tall man by the table. Even though she has excellent control over herself, something moved behind her eyes and the way she stands in her face. Easy. Leah told me about you. He likes to talk a lot. You're not here to chat up the legal counsel, you're here to question these men. Let's see the other. How do you not? Yes, I had another question. Fair enough. Are you the Hardy girl? I am not, she says dryly. You could be Liz, you could be anything, you could even be a model. Her face stiffens. Glenn, I went to law school, I am an attorney. He's right, with a face like that she could be on the cover of Le Debutante International. Get a grip, Glenn, she went to law school. So fucking what? Lots of models are actually really smart people. Fuck what? No, Glenn, they aren't. Wow. Her tone is cold and uninvolved. This didn't change her opinion of you. It's not her. She's not a Hardy girl, definitely. What's your role in all this? Obviously, I'm a lawyer, a legal counsellor for the dock workers union. She crosses her arms. I would urge you to consider what you say to my clients. Ah. Noted.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
The man hanged in the backyard. Did you do it? The pretty boy? He takes a sip from his can. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy. Funny, Lieutenant says without a smile, but my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you. Why is a container belt around the dead man's neck? Container belt? Like we use in the harbour? Yes, why? Because we took it, he says, from the harbour we work, then we went out back and used it to hang him. But they don't even care. Fine. As he speaks, his fist contracting, going through the pulling motion again, savouring it. We did this, he looks you dead in the eye, together, all of us, until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck. So you just confessed to murder. Goddamn right I... No, the woman rejects. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened so that you don't waste any more of your time. All 7 together, the diluting responsibility is an anti-arrest tactic. Okay. Okay. Okay, so if I'm clever about this and leave the bullet till last, I should be able to get them to talk a load of crap about how they killed him with a belt or strangled him, but he didn't, so they're lying, and they are knowingly lying. When did this hanging incident occur? You don't have to answer any of his questions, the fixer turns to remind Titus. I know, Lizzie, relax. He takes a sip. We killed him last night. It seemed like a good way to end the week. How long had you known the victim? Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole. Yeah, who do you think we are? Quiet. Titus gives Glenn a stern look. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy. By the Pines cow you mean Joyce Messier, the representative for Wild Pines. The lieutenant pretends to check his notes. The same company you're striking against. No, he stresses, I mean the Pines cow. The stupid ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what? He rubs his chin pretending to mull it over. Why didn't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough. That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. She turns to you. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions. We know how, anyway. I don't know how many questions I'm going to get. Who called the shots that night? Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy Boy without arresting all Hardy Boys. A shadow of smoke passes her lips as she tilts her head. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all? A trick question. Don't let her lead the conversation. I don't have to. One of them was more complicit than the others. That's for the courts in Le Jardin to decide, not for the officer making an arrest, which we all know you won't be. She sounds almost helpful. What you can do right now is go back to your station and write a report. No, the lieutenant says calmly. We'll stay here and discuss what happened last night. How did you kill him? We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, Copper? Didn't they teach you anything in the cop school, idiot? The autopsy showed there were no ligature marks. His hands were not tied. Can you explain that? He looks even more irritated than before. Look, I'm not going to play 20 questions with you, Coppo. I'll say it again. We killed him. Yeah, I knocked him out. The tattooed one speaks up, banging on his chest. Came up behind him and clubbed him in the back of the head. He went down like a sack of sand. That's right, lawman. He spits through his teeth. And then we hanged the fuck. Make them a bit more uncomfortable first, then see if it all adds up. Mr. Tats, what did you use to knock out the victim out? My fucking elbow, Copper. He looks you straight in the eyes, Samaran boxing style. Samaran boxing, or Sambo, is an eloquently violent set of one-on-one fighting moves originating from the Samaran Isola. Sambo style implies stealth, cleverness, and cool. He may be lying, but he's good at it. No twitching, no rushing, no uncalled for details. Where did all this action take place? Right fucking here. He spreads his hands. The fucker started coming to our bar, asking for it. Is this a red check? It's a red check. Can I make that? Is it worth the risk? Things aren't quite right, are they? Take a gamble. Ah, yes. Titus, solid as a rock, and so are a few others, but... First, tell me who's solid. Elaine, who looks like he might be Titus's right-hand man. The least antsy of the bunch, definitely not his first time being questioned by the police. This little rat-faced fellow is a solid 2. Always fidgety, yes, but no change there. Him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice or whatever he's got there. Who's cracking under pressure? This one. He's sweating profusely and has difficulty breathing. They've smartly kept him out of the conversation thus far. Definitely the weakest link in the chain. A single sentence would wear him out. He can't take the length of the questioning. Keep it going long enough and he'll crack. Hey you. You having trouble breathing over there? No, he looks up, startled, his forehead shiny from sweat. A few coiled locks are peeking out from under his warm woolen hat. Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look how fucking fat he is. The man next to the big guy bursts out laughing. Fuck off, Shanky. The big boss steps in. Angus is a powerful guy, all muscle. Keep your eyes on this powerful guy. Sooner or later he's going to break like a piece of twig. There's something you're not telling me. And fuck you too, copper. Picking on Angus like this. We're done with this schoolyard shit. And just so you know, he doesn't have trouble breathing. This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them yet. About the night of the murder. Not yet. Right, I have other questions about the lynching. Like what, copper? Why did you kill him? Why, he hisses through his teeth? Because he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out of line in my town. So he was mercenary. That's it. And he stepped out of line. He repeats, jaw clamped shut like a vice. What kind of mercenary? The kind that shows up when you start a strike, the experienced kind too. Had Cohoy and a Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oraniez, Special Forces. A live grenade, the man spreads his arms, right here in our bar. I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara. Okay, hold on. How do you even know he was in Special Forces? Because one night he walked straight up to the mic and said, I'm Aranya's goddamn Special Forces and I'm going to fuck you all. Really? Yeah, really. Had a gin tonic up there, sang some Aranya's paratrooper song and said he's going to fuck everyone. We couldn't believe it either, but he fucking did right there. He points to the stage like some kind of animal. Sire, the tale is true. This is a serious violation of the karaoke code. Okay, aside against crimes against karaoke, what did he actually... No. Right, what did he actually do wrong? Wrong, he roars? He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning. He wiped spittle from his mouth. From rape to harassment to threats of violence, why the strange de-escalation? He regrets mentioning it. Hopes you didn't notice. To kill us all if we didn't open the gates. If we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over... He cracks his knuckles, and that was before he started coming here. Yeah, he said it was his favourite joint now. Started coming here every night, drinking, grabbing girls, grabbing one of ours mid-karaoke right there on the stage. He grabs someone. The lieutenant is trying to make sense of this flood of information. Yeah, this girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her leg, starts screaming. Well... Jeez. Why? Gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down. Shakes his head in disbelief. Was this the same girl that was assaulted? Aren't you listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen. Yeah, and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening? He repeats like a parrot. There's something odd here. Seems like they don't want to talk about the rape Titus mentioned. Why not? This is a serious allegation. Make sure they talk about it. Thank you, Rhetoric. Right, who did he rape then? This is a very serious allegation. No, there's a moment of silence. You're not getting a name. That's a Martinez matter and I'm not discussing it with you clowns. There's nothing you can do for now. He's stonewalling you. Okay. How does the bullet in his head factor into this? Huh? A sip of beer makes the surprise go down easier. There was a bullet in the dead man's brain. The lieutenant checks his notes. Why was it there if you hanged him? How the fuck do I know? Anyone could have shot him. Target practice maybe. Another sip. He's tight-lipped suddenly. Interesting side. It's as if he's lying to protect someone. He's not very good at it. The line of questioning is over. The woman steps in before you can answer. You got the cause of death already. Hanging. If there's any post-mortem trauma, it's your problem. This will not turn into a cross-examination. You murdered him like that. No remorse. How many people have you sent to the chase after... Chase? Ever felt remorse for them? Che's electrique is the method of capital punishment in Revachol under the Coalition. During the suzerain's reign, it used to be the firing squad. Or sent to reunion to rot for 20 years for life, he says, as if it were worse than dying. Right, okay. I don't think it is. Look, I'm just doing my job, that's all. I see you're just a simple, well-meaning man, huh? He spits on the ground before him. Ever been in solitary? Prison is torture. That's what it is. So is hanging a man slowly without breaking his neck, the lieutenant replies dryly. So what are we going to do now? Nothing. Her reply comes sharp. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong. I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus. The lieutenant closes his notebook. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder, even if it's a group responsibility. We're going to look into it. Good luck with that. He grabs another beer. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is going to hear from us. Real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating. Me and Everard talked. He promised you'd cooperate. Oh, so you went and talked to my mummy and now she's making me play with you. He spits. Is that it, lawman? And that's what's going to happen. And what's going to happen if we don't? The little guy leaves. What are you going to go and telling us? Very mature guys. Everard sent word, right? Yeah, I heard him. The fuck do you think I'm doing here? You'd have your ass handed to you if it wasn't for the boss man's word. Let me state this very clearly, Coppo. He clears his throat and declares, Hello, officer. I'm Titus Hardy, and these are my boys. Hardy boys. How may we assist you? It would take an army to bend Titus to his will, but having Everard back you up like that does seem to have some effect. Cool. I want to ask about the hanging again. Again? Just get the dead guy's autograph since you're his biggest fan. No more questions. You still haven't explained the bullet I found in the hangman's head. You still on about the bullet? He pats the back of his head. A bullet in a hangman's head. You're right, Copper. That is mighty curious. Indeed, mighty. How did it get there? The lieutenant is fixed on Titus. He gives you an indulgent look. Well, there are so many bullets in the world and so many heads. He sighs deeply. I guess it's only logical at some point one of them bullets had to end up in one of them heads. It's bound to happen again, you know. He taps on his right temple, just statistically speaking, of course. So it would be an event most dramatic if you were to produce the bullet and dangle it before their very eyes. I don't want to lose it, but drama is right. I'm going to ask again, why was this in the victim's head? Wow, the little man leans in to inspect the leaden blossom. He's got it in real evidence bag and all. Why didn't you go home and log it into evidence? These men have told you what happened. Did you guys shoot him? Shit. He throws his head back. I probably did shoot him. I was drunk last night. You guys know when I... Yeah, Glenn likes to shoot his guns when he's drunk. The little guy looks at you in the eye. Better hope he stays sober. No, he means before he was hanged. Did you shoot him before you hanged him? Before, after, during? She spreads her arms. This is getting ridiculous. They told you what happened. Stop wasting your time. I think the hanging was a cover-up for the shooting. You know what I think? He raises his finger. I think he was shot in the head as a kid, and his brain grew around the bullet. Around the bullet, man. Elaine pinches the root of his nose. That's a good one. All the goofing around is to avoid lying. It's a technique. Don't worry, we'll figure this out sooner or later. Never been worried in my life, lawman. He crosses his hairy arms, having forgotten his beer for a moment. It's not like you blew it wide open, but there's a little crack in there somewhere. I'm going to take off now. If I want to do that, I can massively improve my authority. I think. Apparently not. Why is my authority so low? Oh, it's because I'm chewing this bow collector thing over. I need to get that done first. Oh, neither of those are particularly helpful. I've got 1 SP, which I could spend on authority. I'd rather wait. Do I have any authority boosting items? No, I can just make my authority worse. Wonderful. Well, for now, I think the right course of action would be to have a chat with some van drivers. And I'm going to speak to the non-racist I have a good rapport with, who wouldn't let me into his goddamn lorry before. Hello, sir. Tell me what you have.
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man. What's on your mind?
You seem like a man who knows about drugs. Ah, man, me and narcotics go way back. He folds his hand behind his head and leans back. Had some good time surfing the psychic wave of my own consciousness, you know. But, he pauses, letting the memory dissipate. Those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man? I'm trying to figure out who's smuggling drugs out of Terminal B. The lieutenant steps in. We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbour to load it on the lorry and drive it to Jamrock. Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. The jam's got folks up in arms and I'm afraid it's headed towards a conflagration. Who do you think could be conducting the drug trade then? Look, man, I tried to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions. You wouldn't say he's lying, sire. Well, I mean, that was a result. There's also that guy hawking wares. He could maybe be an element. A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy, grad-made machine is well kept for an old machine. Nothing to see? No. Okay. Now, I believe I know of 3 lorry drivers. Surely she counts. Snap your fingers in front of her face.
If you want her attention, you may need to be more forceful.
Snap your fingers twice.
Where am I? Who are you?
Like a magician recalling a subject from hypnosis, you've jotted it back to reality. Are you alright, Mom? You're out.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in the traffic jam. In the 50s.
When else would you be then?
Back in Mefke, during the time of the revolution, the sidewalks and coffees are filled with young people. I was on my way to see a new Boydero picture starring Gabriel Buenguerro. Until you come along, that is.
Sorry to interrupt your dreaming, ma'am.
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, low man. It was early spring, and the man behind the black sun had just come out. The posters were 20 meters tall. Everything was golden.
Her eyes narrow, and she appears to take your measure.
While you people were tearing each other apart over your petty little revolution. In Methke, it was a golden age.
The Republic of Methke is a massive confederation on the Isla of Mundi. The world's largest state by territory. It's a petrostate, a constitutional... Oh dear. A constitutional monarchy, and as of recently an outcast due to its tilt on the far right. I would really like that fire alarm to stop going off. Wonderful. Right, I have some other questions for you, police questions.
Why not, Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole.
She settles back against the railing of a motor lorry. Behind her, mountains of memorabilia, photos and knickknacks line the dashboard. There's something off about this woman. Tell her to show you the soles of her boots. Maybe she was at the hanging somehow. Okay. Show me the soles of your boots. And what do you want with an old woman's boots? Zerif. Please help me out here, it's important. Please, she raises the boot slowly with contempt. I think you should let me get back to the Gabriel Bunquero. You know Gabrielle. Gabrielle doesn't say please. She is wearing sturdy worker's boots made of black leather. Buckles run across. The sole is also made of leather. Now the other one, please. Just before Gabrielle, it was the coronation of Franco Negro. Now there was a real man. There is no aberration in the pattern that you can see. She puts her foot down. Moreover, the boots were tiny, size 37 tiny. There are too many discrepancies in all this. Another discrepancy, although not boot-related, is the coronation of his innocence, Franco Negro, which happened 500 years ago. Wait, do you mean it was the coronation of Franco Negro? She is not odd soul. These are not the boots that made the prince. Takes a queen note. I could have told you that from just looking at them. Her size is 37. The feet of a little girl, she smiles. They fit well on the pedals. You seem like a woman who knows a thing or two about drugs. What do I need drugs for, Lawman? What I see and what I feel, the great adversary. No drugs can compare. That's not really what I was getting at. Then what were you getting at? Maybe she thought you're corrupt? Really? I wanted to ask if you'd be interested in smuggling some drugs. Why do I want to do that? For the glory of the World Republic, liberation of the spirit and body. This is a mess. Let's change the subject. Good, I don't care about drugs. Little molecules, they're nothing. She glances wistfully at the photo. What are you hauling? Diamonds. Diamonds really? Of course not, she says, grinning. But wouldn't it be marvellous if I was? Okay, but what are you really hauling? She shrugs. Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine. So you don't know what you're hauling in your own lorry? I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. She smiles a careless smile. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean. She says that if something narcotic is the real reason. Wait, you get high off driving a lorry? Oh, it's so much more than high where I go as a rife. It's low. I go to the bottom. She closes her eyes in reverie. Yeah, it's definitely some kick, some terrible kick in the dark, a sleep kick. Perhaps you can find out later. What if the cargo is contraband? Then it's contraband, Lawman. What, do you want me to take an old woman in? Be my guest, lock me away like bad hand Hermenegildo. Bad hand Hermenegildo's bad hand strangled 300 people. What can I say? Some people just really like strangling people. Thank you for now. Well, I'll continue this next time, because I have a funny feeling this is going to get complicated. So thank you so very much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.